Sleepy Twitter's actually funny, which is why like SMP Twitter, right? It's just so not funny. Like they were just always unfunny. Like they were a huge community, so it's hard to say they were all not funny, but the majority, like the big SMP Live accounts, were just
the funny people moved over to Sleepy Twitter, and now Sleepy Twitter is the funny people.
It's because the thing is that Sleepy Twitter, what we've tried to culminate with Sleepy Twitter is just like we don't give a shit about you. Like, you know, we not in the way of like we don't give a shit about the fans, but we don't give a shit about the community of Sleepy Twitter. We approve of it and we want you to carry on, but like we're not going to interact with you ever, like outside of the occasional meme. You know, I'm never going to make a thing that's like the stream saying we need to address something, you know, like that was needed from Carson, but like we're never going to do something like that kind of vibe. So it just means that you've got a community where you can do whatever the fuck you want, and that means that they don't feel like they're constantly trying to fish for likes and retweets from us, and they can start insulting us and being funny.
I see.
That's the only side that you can't. Okay, I've always stood by. You can't be funny and have a dignity. That's something I was taught really. Because when I started doing streaming, I was really worried because I didn't used to think I was funny enough. I used to think I was like really unfunny when I started. And I remember I was speaking to General Sam, and I was three things I asked him. They were: what's your opinion on starting another channel? Do you think you can learn how to be funny? And how can I be funny? That's the three things I asked him. And the one about starting another channel, his response was, yeah, you can start another channel, but no one's going to give a shit about you unless it's better than your previous channel. And that's always stuck with me. So, you know, you make something, but make sure it's better than the one before. Never make an alt account to put spam on. Always, if you're going to make an alt account, make it better than your main account. You know? The other one was, can you learn to be funny? It was yes. And I've actually, Tommy Innit asked me this question.
Yeah,
I got to relay
I
this
was
wisdom.
There.
Yeah, he told me to just watch the greats, like the famous greats of comedy. You know, like Carlin and what's his name? Fuck. I like Burr a lot. Burr's very funny, but he's kind of, you know, edgy. You got
CPK for the 2 months. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And hello, welcome to the stream.
Hello. And then the last one was, how can I be funny? And the one bit of advice General Sam gave me that's always stuck with me is you can't be funny and keep your dignity. No one with a dignity is funny. Whereas everything, so for instance, when I think of a YouTuber with a lot of dignity, I think of someone like James Charles, right? He's got a lot of dignity around him, hence why him being cancelled is such a huge deal, because there's so much dignity behind him, right? But he can be really funny, but all of his funny bits are when he's mocking himself, or, you know, or the memes making fun of him, you know. That's the funny stuff, you know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so, like,
no, I get that.
That's why when I was moving over to doing streaming, I was like, oh, I gotta drop my dignity, because everyone has a natural dignity. Like everyone starts, so unless I literally stand by, unless you have older brothers, which I do not have, unless you have older brothers, you always have a dignity. Like that's just something. The eldest brother in a family will always have a dignity, right? And if you don't have any brothers, then you'll have a dignity, you know, that kind of thing. So you need to learn to knock yourself down quite a lot. The problem is though, as you grow and as you get more success, you start to build yourself up in your head, so you need to keep reminding yourself to knock yourself down and stuff. Delete social media. Delete social media. You don't need it. Twitter is shit. Twitter does not mimic the world. No one cares about what goes on Twitter in reality. Your tweet could get 2 million like interactions, but if your YouTube channel has 3 million subscribers, the majority, I'd say a solid 80% of your viewer base won't know what is said about you on Twitter, you know?
Wait, that's really toxic. I like Twitter.
Twitter is shit.
No,
it's only good for making connections. That's all it's good for.
No, I like Twitter.
All it's good for. It's barely funny, and the times it is funny, it's stressful, because the humor is always like...
The times that it is funny, it's at Just a Minx. Yes.
Twitter is shit. The problem is it doesn't reflect the world, and everyone seems to think Twitter is the best reflection of the world. Like, for instance, when they did like a thing, they were like, who are you voting for in 2016, Trump or Hillary? It was 98% clicked Hillary. Like, Twitter is not a reflection of the world. The average person does not give a shit what's going on Twitter, but Twitter is so expertly engineered to make you feel like when you're not on it, you're missing the world's going by you. It's not. It's not. You can delete that shit and not open it, and it's not going past you. I had a great chat with Jschlatt about this, dude. It's like, it's not like everyone's like, oh, Twitter's so toxic. It doesn't matter if it's toxic or not. The problem is that it makes you think that that's where the world is happening when it's not. No one gives a shit.
Wait. I thought Twitter is everything to me. What? Wait, what?
Yeah, I get that. I feel like
I got 20,000 views on my last post. What?
I feel like I've been using Twitter too much recently because, I never understood Twitter and I still don't understand it. And I feel like I've been using it way too much recently. I really need to stop because it's just weird and confusing. I should stop. That's why I deleted my tweets today, because I did say, hey, that's really annoying that people pretend to be me and do like upload my videos pretending to be me. And then I deleted it because I was like, yeah, but no one cares. So, yeah.
You're very fucking kind about that shit. Why would people pretend? I'll tell you right now, if I got angry over that shit,
I mean, it's a shitty thing, but in the end, what can I do? For every person I report, 3 people will appear, and well, I guess if they think that's cool, it's a shitty thing, but if they think they want to do that, what can I do about it? You know? The only thing is, like, don't talk to my friends under my name. Like, that's the only thing. If you do that, then you're more than just a shitty person, then you're horrible, and you shouldn't really do that.
Yeah, back to that fucking issue where I thought talking to Nikki for a whole ass, like, fucking hour until they were like, I gotta tell you something, I'm not Nikki.
Imagine if they never told you, like, you really thought that I was mad at you, and
I thought you were so upset because they were like, we need to talk, and I was like, the anxiety, I was like, whoa,
if I would ever tell you we need to talk, then it would have, like, either I would be upset at you or about something horrible.
I believe super strongly in digital addiction, and not in the fucking boomer way of digital addicted, like he's addicted to Facebook, like, not like that kind of thing, because when you hear that you think, oh, he goes on it a lot. I'm talking about that you don't even notice how much you're going on it. Like, if when you open your computer and you open Chrome, if the first tab you open is Twitter and then you open other tabs to do what you're going to do, that's addiction. You are addicted. Like, that's, if you open Chrome with the intention of, like, right, I've just started my day, gonna sit down and get to work, and you open the tabs and the first thing you type is TW enter, and then you open everything that you need to do for work, you are addicted. That's addiction. And the fact, and it stems down to, right now you're getting 20,000 likes per post, right? Cool. What happens when that goes down? What are the dopamine receptors that are trained into your brain gonna do? What do you think? Are they gonna be happy? Are they gonna be comfortable with this? Are they gonna, you're believing Twitter is your world. So what's gonna happen when that starts to slip away? you're wearing out the receptors in your brain, dude. That's how it works.
It's the same with streamers and viewers. Like, when I dropped down to 800 viewers after like 1.2k viewers, but I always try to remember myself where I come from, because I know that it can hurt people so much if they drop in viewers or in likes or in anything. And it's always so important to remind yourself, like, where did you come from? You came from like 3 viewers, 3 likes, 0 likes. And I feel like that is kind of a way to deal with it. If you have that issue.
That's something that obviously, because I went from, small likes on Twitter to something big lately. And even though, like, I was with my real friend lately, my real life friend, and I felt so fucking good. And then in my head, I was like, oh shit, I've taken 2 days away. If I come back, they're going to forget about me. And that caused me to have, like, literally almost a fucking breakdown. I was like, I was looking up, like, something to say that would be funny. And that was 2 days. That was 2 days with my friend, like, compared to a fucking 7-week holiday. So, it is fucking true that the internet does fucking corrupt you. Because right now, I'm like, oh my god, all these fucking likes and shit. But it's fucking almost worse. It gives me nothing. It's likes. But I'm scared that they'll fucking go down, and it's affecting my mental health. So, I agree with the whole ass fucking, the internet is fucking toxic.
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, is it's like the people who say, like, oh, but, like, my life's on the internet, or like, oh, but I'm stuck here. It's like, you're stuck here. You're stuck here out of apathy. You don't need to have anything in the real world because you have something on Twitter. You know, you don't need to I've always been a fine with stans because I understand that they're making friends and stuff. But you know, there is a point definitely where it's like you're the only reason you think that your life outside of Twitter is bad is because you're apathetic and stuck with Twitter, right? And for people, let's say like the people less abled who have to spend a lot more time on Twitter or have to spend a lot more time indoors on their own or sat down, then there are other proactive things you can do in that situation than social media, you know? Like,
that's the thing with stans. Like, I think they're amazing because, you know, they've built up, you know, they've helped me build up my career. They've been so positive. But one day I did a bit that was like, I was dressed up as fucking Raven from Teen Titans, and I was, you know, pretending to be mean, pissed off. And then I got like a lot of horrible messages. People who I realized were regulars from, you know, the stan community that I was like, oh, they'll always have my back. And it was like, oh, kill yourself, you don't care about us. The way that people can switch up on you immediately on the fucking internet is kind of fucking scary.
My favorite
issue.
So there's a very famous quote, which is a community that builds itself on destroying others will soon destroy itself. And my personal favorite thing, you just need to look at SMP Live Twitter, dude. Like, oh my god, watching all of my friends getting cancelled for stuff, like all of my friends getting cancelled for things that they had said in the past. And I have spoken to some of them about those things they'd said in the past before they got cancelled. I'm not saying naming names, but I've spoken to people who got cancelled during like January, February this year, who were having severe mental health issues due to the fact they were getting cancelled. I have spoken to them about the things that they got cancelled for, and they have explained to me how they were really stupid about it and stuff. And here I am getting shouted at for not holding my friends accountable. Like,
Yeah,
they
but
don't
that is
see
so
see behind
stupid.
the scenes. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that they spend all their time knocking these people down, which, you know, that's what they do. Twitter doesn't matter. That's what they do. You know, it's fine. But like, the issue was that outside of that, once if they'd driven everyone off the site and they'd driven everyone into disliking stans, which is a silly move to go in my opinion. But after that, they started attacking each other. I think it was yesterday, actually, I was hearing about how like stan accounts were fighting each other and things, and it's just, that's what happens if you're a big Twitter account right now and you're listening to this. Like, you're a big stan account, like over 1,000 followers or whatever, you're next. Like, they're gonna come for you, man. Like, it's not like, this is how it works. That's how unless you start being nice to each other, that's what will happen. You will be next. If you were one of the people making fun and taking the piss and you know, having a laugh, I know it's all for fun, but like, that's you next. Like, you can have fun now, but soon the boot will be on the other foot. That's just how it works, you know?
I feel like I've fucking lost my humor. Like, half the shit I do on stream is not me at this, because everyone constantly, and then there's the one, you know, like you said, the fucking stans go against each other. They fight. They're like, no, he's not wrong. It's like, fucking Christ.
It's scary, honestly. Like, you know, to have to be so cautious, because even if you, like, you know, if you do something out of accident or something, or if you apologize, people will still be mad at you, and it's really scary. Like, I am scared to get cancelled at some point. I wouldn't know for what, but people might find something.
Don't fucking look at someone you look up to as a fucking idol. Don't.
Yeah, true.
Or fucking people are fucking human. They make mistakes. People are like, oh, they're my fucking, you know, I look up to them. They're perfect.
Especially if it's like years ago. Like, come on.
Oh, that shit's fucking stupid. That's,
you know, people change. People do change and learn, and, you know, like,
if they haven't fucking repeated something, you know, a mistake in the past, don't fucking keep bringing it up, and don't fucking say, oh, you haven't, you know, confronted this issue, you're ignoring it. They're fucking ignoring it because it's in the past. You don't.
And they have probably been dealing with that, but you don't want to put everything on the towards the outside and on public.
So I apologized when I used a slur that I didn't know was a slur 4 years ago. I apologize. I think it's 3 actually.
I mean, it's still good to apologize.
Oh yeah,
of
no,
course.
you probably didn't hear about it because I tackled it, but it wasn't tackled from a PR perspective. In fact, from a PR perspective, I should have just stayed quiet because everyone was mostly forgetting about it when I addressed it. But the reason I addressed it was because I used a transphobic slur about 3 years ago, right? And people were attacking me, people were canceling me. I saw lots of K-pop avatars telling me how they never trusted me in the first place and things, which I thought was very funny. And I felt, I was like, and I wasn't scared that I lost my career. I wasn't scared that people were gonna hate me. But what I was worried about was about the transgender people in my community thinking that I wasn't who I was. So I waited for it to calm down, and then I made a thing saying, hey, I'm really I want you to know that I don't feel that way. This was, and I explained what happened because I didn't even use the slur at anyone. I was reading a text someone had made, and it had that word in it, and it just sort of glossed it past my lips. But I said, hey, I want you to know that this is for you if you are transgender and you heard this and you think that I'm not who I am. I'm sorry. And I really promise you that that's not me. And then I went on to say, if you aren't an ally and you aren't offended and you aren't transgender, fuck you. This isn't for you. You can unfollow me, you can get angry. I literally don't give a shit about you. What I do care about is the people I may have genuinely upset by them thinking that I'm not a safe place, right? So now look at my friends who have said things in the past that were stupid. And we've spoken to them about it, and we've confronted them, and we've asked them to address why they said these things, and they have regretted it, right? Them then coming out and saying what I did, which was, hey, I want you to know that if you are of this demographic that I insulted, that it's not true. It's not, this isn't me. All this does is it gives ammunition to the K-pop avatars, right?
It's not about the K-pop avatars. It's just about people being like, oh, I never trusted him in the first place. Oh, he's a stupid person. Just don't involve yourself.
So literally, what I'm saying is an apology, right, or not an apology, is completely fine. Judge for yourselves on the person. If you genuinely believe that the person who has been cancelled is genuinely someone who's not worth your time, do you know what you do? You turn it off, and you can tell your friends. You could tell your friends, hey, did you hear about this thing they did? I'm not happy with that. I've stopped watching them because of that. That's fine as well. That's not cancelling. That's holding someone accountable gently. But what you guys don't do is you don't hold people accountable. You chase down an attack, which isn't the same thing. To say publicly, this person you shouldn't watch, that is cancelling. To say privately to a friend, I'm not going to watch this person anymore because of something they said, and I don't believe they've grown from that. That's fine. If you want to stop watching someone because of something they said, that is 100% fine. That is absolutely fine. And to tell someone else, to educate someone else, like, hey, did you know they said this once? That's fine. But again, and then that person who you've told can also then think for themselves, do I think they've grown from this? Do I think they've improved?
He do be going off right now, boy.
But it's not. This isn't a thing of like I.
No, because I want to put my fucking fill in, but everything you're saying is, something that I can fucking like. I've had shit from streamers that I don't even hang out with them all the time, and that people come at me like, I've seen you, interact on Twitter with this person, so you support what they've done, and it's like, it's everything you're fucking saying. Jesus.
It's like, but it's not just in stan culture or anything. It's like, if you don't like a person or what a person is doing, just don't associate yourself with that person. It's that easy. It doesn't have to be hard. Don't attack that person. Don't go around and tell other people like, oh, why are you friends with that person? Why are you doing stuff with that person? Just tell them your point of view, and that is all you have to do. Don't associate yourself with that person, and it's that easy. Yeah. You don't have to go out and witch hunt people. You don't have to do that, and you shouldn't do that because that is toxic as hell.
The problem is the first thought that goes through people's head, because obviously people doing or saying things that are you deem unforgivable should be how you draw your boundaries, unforgivable. You shouldn't watch someone who says something that you find unforgivable because you feel like you should. That's worse than cancelling. That culture doesn't exist. But if a culture of someone doing so. I mean, it kind of does actually. Remember when Justin Bieber drunk drove and almost killed someone and everyone was up to his defense? That's like the opposite of cancel culture. That's someone doing something abhorrent, people
wow.
disagreeing with it, and then people still coming to their defense. I think that's worse than cancel culture. I would rather, if I did something awful, like genuinely abhorrent, that people stopped watching me, than if they all went, oh, he's fine, you know, like something that's genuinely proven guilty kind of thing. But like, I don't know, man. It's like you shouldn't.
No, the thing was, I had to like apologize actually for something in my past that didn't come to life, but an old friend came and they're like, "You're constantly, you know, like you support the LGBT community, but remember when you said the F word? When I was fucking 14, 15 in the GTA Xbox days, I used to call my friends, you know, the F word. I'm pansexual, so I think I got right there. But you know, it was back then. It was fucking different. It was where, you know, we could say that word and like you didn't fucking blink an eye. You didn't fucking blink an eye. And as I learned, as I realized, oh, this offends people, this hurts people, I immediately fucking stopped. I was like, oh, this isn't like a normal thing anymore. And I moved on from that. So the fact people are like one person in general came to me and was like, you know, if people hear this, you know, they think you don't fucking support it. That's not how it fucking is. I moved on from it. I moved on from that. I said, oh, you know, I immediately fucking changed. So the fact that people try to fucking dig up your past, which it's just...
The F slur is the most interesting one.
Can I quickly say, Dory, thank you so much for the 86 euros. I really appreciate it. Happy birthday. Oh my god. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but you know, I have to thank him.
moving away from like cancel culture and stuff, because I don't want to talk about them anymore. They're fucking, like I said, Twitter doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter anyway if they cancel anyone. But like, because literally nothing, it never goes anywhere. You know, I can think of a dozen of my friends that have been cancelled more than twice, and they're still fine. You know, because it just doesn't matter. Twitter doesn't matter. But basically, what I'm saying is, in regards to the F slur, what you were saying, Minx, I'm completely straight. I'm a heterosexual, straight, white guy, right? So I'm the last person who should be saying the F slur. But genuinely, when I was like, I'd say even as old as 16, 17, I didn't know it was a slur. I didn't even know what it meant. In the same way, if you told me the word git, I don't know what git means. I had to teach my friend David what nonce meant yesterday.
I don't know what it means. I don't know.
I had to teach my friend David what nonce meant yesterday, and he's 23. Nonce is a very British slang for a paedophile, right? And he thought it meant someone who was just dumb. Right? He thought if you were a bit of a nonce, you were just stupid, right? Like same with the word numpty, you know, kind of thing. So I genuinely thought the F slur was just like another word of saying like fucker, you fucker, kind of thing, you know. And I remember one of my cringiest memories, you know, everyone has cringy memories. One of my cringiest memories was I remember because I've been watching Family Guy, and they say it in Family Guy all the time and things. Like I hadn't, like this is how little I had knowledge of the word. I was doing an American accent, and I was making fun of Americans, I remember, which, by the way, if you're American, it's very funny to make fun of. I'm joking. It wasn't mean.
I mean, Americans make fun of British people.
Oh yeah, no, I hope so. But like, it wasn't mean. But I remember I was doing this accent, and I was saying the F slur as like part of the bit I was doing. It was like a major part of the bit. This was in like 2013, 2014. This wasn't even that long ago. And I remember I was sat, and I was very close friends with my gay friend Sam. He's gay, which is important to the story, obviously. And he was there. And I remember him not laughing and me just thinking like, oh, he doesn't understand the joke. And it took me like 2 years to look back on it and go, oh my fucking God. Like, holy shit, I'm a dickhead. And I messaged him and I was like, hey, I know this doesn't mean anything to you, but like 2 years ago, I was telling a story and I was using the F slur in front of you, and I was like targeting it at people. It wasn't even just using it passively. I was using it aggressively, and I was like, I was stupid. I didn't know what the fuck it meant, and I'm really, really sorry. And he was like, oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I was kind of confused, but you know, I'm glad that you told me. You know, so it's like.
That's the fucking thing. The people I were with, they were very fucking openly bisexual, but it wasn't even like that. It was like back then. It was just something that everyone would say. It was like, you know, all my Instagram.
And that doesn't excuse it. That doesn't excuse it.
But the fact that, you know, we have learned that it is not okay. It's offensive. It fucking hurts people. It hurts people in that community. And we have, you know, we have fucking moved on. We realize that, but it's just fucking annoying when people are coming here and being like, but you said this, but you did this. And we did do that. And we fucking learned. We learned from our fucking mistakes. So maybe fucking hold people accountable if they're still doing this shit in fucking 2020. But for the fucking people who have learned and moved on and realize it upsets people, stop that shit. There's no fucking need to attack people for their fucking past. Especially when they have shown growth. Hello?
And I would like to point out as well, like, while I'm really open about talking about this stuff, like, I'm really open about talking about the mistakes I've made with that kind of stuff. I can tell you now for a fact that the more introverted of my friends are not comfortable with talking about the stupid shit they said when they were a kid. They're not comfortable telling stories of, like, I just told you of the one where I said the F slur and things. They're not comfortable with that, but I promise you they have the same remorse. That's just how it works, you know? And you will know some content creators will never address stan culture. They will never address cancel culture. They will never say a word about it, right? That doesn't mean that they don't have the same opinions and the same thing. Like, honestly, almost everyone has the opinion I'm sharing. This isn't in content. The content creators I know, at least. Like, this isn't a rare case. And just because they don't talk, and like I'm talking about it now, and I'm seeing a lot of people in the chat being like, my respect's going all the way up. It should be at the same level. Like, I'm just saying something that everyone else has done, and is, you know, it's not. I can promise you that if they've gotten this far as a content creator already, and you haven't heard them say an awful slur, then they're not.
No, what
racist, homophobic, whatever.
Is actually a fucking other issue. I feel like I'll say something on Twitter and people are like, my respect for you has gone up when I say, you know, a fucking everyday normal thing. That's back to the issue where people
like put you up on a pedestal.
Yeah,
like,
and
no,
it's like,
just...
no, this is a fucking normal thing. You shouldn't be like, wow, you're so fucking amazing that you did this. Oh.
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, we addressed this fucking matter and we went a bit.
I don't think there is really a matter.
It is a fucking matter because this is constantly on. I see it every fucking day with my friends. Like,
try closing Twitter.
Bro, I can't. It's my fucking app. Come on, don't cancel.
I just got 2,000 likes on a tweet. I can't close it.
I got like 20k fucking likes. Well, don't say that shit.
Yeah, well, but like, I just want to go back on what I said again because I feel like that not enough people got this drilled into their head. If you have over 1,000 followers and you are, or even just over like 700, and you are part of the culture, if you've ever joined in cancelling, you're next. Because the people who liked that tweet of you cancelling will be eager to jump onto you as well.
That is true.
And the fact that, do you remember when it used to be just standing musicians was the thing? Can we go back to that? I know I was making fun of K-pop all the time. I don't give a shit. Yeah, stan K-pop, dude. Fucking BTS.
I
like a couple BTS songs.
With stans, I just have a problem with the toxic behavior of like, that person is shitty, let's all shit on that person.
Oh yeah,
like,
I know. And it's the fact that like other stan accounts are being cancelled now.
Hey, wait, you're not gonna be cancelled? Look at my fan cam.
Like the stan accounts being cancelled don't even make content or do entertainment. They just tweet. This is what I mean. This is proof that it's just Twitter.
Hello, Jschlatt.
Because it's gotten so deep into Twitter that's what's happened. You know. How crazy is that, bro?
Wait, but my fan cam now.
Pick up a football. Anyone else? Go outside, leave Twitter, and pick up a football. Jschlatt, I'll play Open TPD tonight if you're on. Me and Fundy are going to be on tonight. Yeah, next time you see someone trying to cancel someone and they're not just like, and they're doing it in an aggressive way, just send the football emoji, dude. Pick up a football, man.
God, you've made me just lose my whole Twitter was the only thing going and now I hate it.
Why? Thing is,
No,
I
because no,
genuinely I think I have an alt account. I have a Twitter alt account where I don't follow, and oh no, I only follow my friends and funny accounts. I don't have any. I don't follow anyone who could possibly put something negative on my timeline. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna rebrand this alt account now. I'm gonna rebrand this alt account. I'm gonna make a Twitter account where no matter what's going on, there could be a fucking like natural disaster happening in the world, and I'm just gonna tweet something positive, like no matter what's going on.
That's what I did. That's what I did when the BLM stuff was happening, and then everyone was like, "Oh, I hope this is not about this and that person getting cancelled." I was just like, "No, I just tried
Yeah, well,
to
you're not
spread
using
some
your platform.
Actually,
positivity."
Nikki, I remember that.
I was like, "No, I
something
just tried to
happened
be
and
nice."
you like tweeted something and the attack on you. I was like,
Yeah,
they
I was like,
they
"Guys,
so fucking quick.
please."
You make one tweet in the same day and they're like, wait, you're supporting this?
Yeah.
So you're saying you support that?
It was-
I remember I was like, I was not even fucking.
I was
Oh.
freaking out because I thought, okay, now it's my turn. Like, people will
But
hate
then you
me.
have
because-
to you have to defend yourself because I remember
Yeah.
like if you don't fucking reply, right? If you don't reply, apparently you're not holding yourself accountable.
Do you remember when on the day that everyone started posting about Black Lives Matter, like it was like during like the midst of the I think it was the Minneapolis protest, like right at the beginning when
Mhm.
that guy was like dressed up in black and smashing all the windows to try and frame the protesters. I remember that really clearly. I watched a video of them protesting, stood with pickets shouting outside a police station, and then the police officers using beanbag rounds on the protesters, right? Now I don't know, but I think I've ever spoken about this on stream before, but I used to be really big into protesting. I used to join in loads of the libertarian protests in London. I was there during Extinction Rebellion and stuff. I wasn't there for the Black Lives Matter protest because I was moving and coronavirus, so I couldn't be there. But I was there. I've been there. I'm one of those idiots who brings their guitar and like plays it and shouts protest.
I'm in love with
I have so many protest songs that I know that I'm a huge fan of, right? And I remember seeing this one, and my first thought went to a song by Pat the Bunny called "Urine Speaks Louder Than Words," and the song is about if a police officer's trying to take your rights, piss on them is what it's basically saying. I'm very sorry, Minx, but it does say piss on prison guards as well.
Wow, okay, dude.
and it's basically a song that I'm a big fan of. It's very fun. A lot of people who are part of the sort of like British liberty movement will know that song. Even though it's an American liberty song, it's like a really big one. It's very sort of fuck 12 kind of thing. And I saw this video and I posted it on YouTube. Right, I posted a cover of the song on YouTube. Now, bear in mind, this was about an hour before everyone started posting the fundraiser links. Right, I posted it, and then I posted the tweet on Twitter, and I disabled replies on it because I didn't want anyone to be talking about it. I wanted the video to speak for itself, right? And then everyone started complaining like, Will doesn't want anyone talking about BLM, so he's disabled the comment. So I went, okay, fine, that was stupid of me. So I deleted it and reposted it with replies, and everyone was like, thank you, but you've still only done the bare minimum, and you're trying to write a song while, you're just trying to capitalize on this. Bear in mind, this video had no ads. This was not on Spotify. This was just a video I put up, just demonetized on my channel because it was something I cared about. And I was like, why is everyone getting so angry at me for this? And then I started looking, and everyone was posting fundraiser links, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, this was the worst timing. Now everyone thinks that I'm ignoring this. Like, everyone thinks I'm just trying to capitalize off of something, even though I was just trying to do it out of, my own volition. And I remember just being like, well, fuck, I don't want to cover my ass because that's not what this is about. So I doubled down. I stuck to my guns. I was like, this is a song about something I care about. I posted the fundraiser at the top of the description, and I pinned a comment to be like, this, if you want to do something, this is where you should go. But like, I was like, it's not about, clout. It's not about, this guy. So do they were making lists of creators who were good and creators who were bad?
Yes.
That's not about BLM anymore. That's about you. Shut the fuck up. Like that. Like the minute you start turning a really pivotal, like independent liberty movement and like one about civil rights into something about who's a good content creator, you know who the problem is? Fucking you. If you've made a list saying these are the good content creators, these are the bad ones, do you know who's the fucking worst? You. There is not literally like, it pissed me off to no end.
Yeah, then we're back to the thing like calling people out. Just Do it yourself.
Yes, if you've noticed one of your creators isn't posting about BLM, it's not because they're racist. like I can tell you now with almost certainty. I can't speak for everyone, but like for everyone I know, I can tell you they're not doing it because they're racist. It's like, and okay, so
no,
there's the
that's one thing that has pissed me off. I've talked about it just because I usually do it even if I had no followers. It's something I do. Some people don't, but the fact that I see people saying, "Oh, this one person hasn't posted because," and that means they're racist. It's the fucking dumbest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. It is. I watch me get fucking cancelled for saying this. It is fucking stupid because.
I just checked Twitter. By the way, I just checked Twitter, and someone said it's funny how you're preaching Wilbur for this, and you're not like, but yet you attack his friends for saying the same thing.
As well?
I think that is a big thing. I'm talking right now from a position of where I hope a lot of you don't disrespect me. A lot of you think that what I'm saying is correct, is because I'm not saying it defensively. I'm saying it from a position of proactivity. I'm talking right now from a position of, look, this is something I want to say now while you will listen to me. Whilst a lot of my friends are saying it from a defensive position, because unlike me, the majority don't want to talk about it, which is fine, and that doesn't make them bad people. They just don't want to have to deal with this extra stress, right? But then when you push people into a corner where they physically can't say anything to do with their career online without you guys jumping on the things that they did in the past, of course they're going to get defensive. My friends mostly are saying the exact same things that I'm saying. It's just they're saying it defensively, and sometimes defensive stuff comes across a lot more brash. And I think that whilst I don't agree with everything that some of my friends have said on this topic, I think the majority of them, they're coming from a right place, and they're coming from basically what a content creator wants is they want their supporters to support them, and the content creator wants to create content for their supporters. That's the cycle they want, right? So now imagine that the supporters want to watch you burn. You will want to be defensive as a content creator, and your content will suffer. That's how it works. So you should if you are hating on what my friends are saying on this same line of the issue with stans, holding yourselves accountable, attacking people for the sake of attacking people, and if my friends are talking about just like cancel culture in general, and they're saying how they don't agree with it, you should think of what I'm saying now and maybe lay off a little bit, because it's not helping anything.
On that thing, it's like, this is kind of it's a similar topic. They put fucking people on a pedestal, and they can be very fucking kind person, they can be great, but they view them as someone who can do no wrong. Anything they do is perfect. They can't, and then they make one tweet, one bit, one joke, whether it's, I'm gonna fucking say, it can be about fucking artists, one thing, and instantly they're fucking cancelled. They can do so much good in the community. They can do so fucking much. They can help people. They can be fucking friends. But if they make one little mistake and they don't address it, they're fucked. This is something, because I'm very I have a really nice art community, and there was a tweet lately kind of about that, and a lot of fucking artists that I recognize DM'd me saying, hey, yeah, you still reply to this person, you communicate with this person, and it's the same again. You're trying to fucking attack me for someone else quote unquote wrongdoing when it's not wrongdoing. You guys put him on a pedestal. You view someone, you have this fucking makeshift imagination of what a content creator should be, and then when they fucking I guess step off that fucking pedestal, immediately you turn against them.
If you're talking about quote retweeting art, which is what I assume you're talking about, yeah, Is that?
Yeah, that's my issue. I used to always quote retweet art,
Yeah,
and
well,
I literally had to make a tweet the other day where I was like, I'm about to retweet this piece of art that I am in love with.
No, don't do that. Literally, the simplest thing to do is, okay, with quote retweeting art. If I don't know enough about Twitter analytics to know what is most beneficial for the artist, right? But if you, for the sake of wanting to keep your timeline tidy, want to just retweet it, then like I think you should reach out to the artist and ask them if they are cool with you just retweeting it, right? However, if you want to quote retweet it, the same thing applies. You should reach out and ask them. However, if they're not comfortable with it, I feel like at that point it stops being okay. So the problem is if people want to hold their ground. People want to be like, stand strong and be like, yeah, I'm sticking with what I said, you know, not out of stubbornness, but out of pride, you know, which is fair enough. So if you retweet something and everyone in the replies is going, why did you quote retweet that? You know, a part of your brain is going, fuck you, I'm gonna leave it up, screw you, you know, like fuck you, it doesn't matter, you know. But like, I feel like it's from an artist perspective. If you should ask them first if they mind having their art quote retweeted, and then just decide based on that, because the majority of artists, I feel,
yeah, just do whatever the artist wants. Honestly, it's their art. Just do whatever, and just you know, it won't cause any issues. Like if they don't want it to quote retweet, whatever, just don't do it. If they want to, yeah, sure, do it. Like, you know, doesn't fucking matter. Some people want it, some people don't.
I did see a tweet where it was like, oh, anyone who quote retweets, you know,
yeah,
what a fucking asshole. I've always quote retweeted art, not because I didn't mean any fucking harm for the artist community. I just when I see a piece of art that I'm fucking in love with, I want to kind of leave a comment. I want to be like, holy shit, I can't believe they did this. Look at the color.
Yeah, because that's how human conversation works.
But the issue is with this is fucking there's people who are like, oh, this fucking person, you know, that the one person, yeah, you know, if an artist says they're not comfortable with you quote retweeting, I get it would be hard just reaching out to every fucking artist that draws you art to quote retweeted. I think my opinion is you shouldn't fucking attack someone for quote retweeting. That's the reason it was fucking made, you know? It is a common fucking thing. If the artist messages you and says, hey, I'm not comfortable with you, fucking immediately delete it. Immediately fucking delete it. But don't fucking attack someone for quote retweeting when
especially if it's not your art. Especially if it's not your art.
Yeah, can I talk about one thing that happened that really stuck with me? This is the last thing I'm going to say before I go. It's a specific situation. I'm not going to say who it was because it's not really important who, it's just what was said, right? One of my friends posted a tweet making a joke about cancel culture. You know, it's a very common thing that's happening on Twitter right now. People like to talk about it on Twitter, which is a shame because Twitter is not the best place to talk about cancel culture because it's the place where it happens, the room where it happens. So one of my other friends then replied with, "Don't negotiate with terrorists," right?
Oh.
And that's a very famous phrase. And it literally is like it's a metaphor for don't like try and make a deal with the people who are against you, is what the phrase means. It's the same way as saying like, oh, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. It doesn't mean there's genuinely a gift horse in front of you. It just means, you know, don't disregard something that's being given to you in kindness, you know. So when that was said, though, of don't negotiate with terrorists, it said completely metaphorically in that blunt, there was nothing added. Everyone then started claiming that he was calling everyone terrorists, which is that's a big claim. That's a massive claim. That's a career-ending claim. You know, if I went out and called a bunch of people terrorists, I'd lose my job. That's so to mishear a quoth and then misquoth it is just it feels silly. It feels like a lot of people would rather find something to be angry at and add to their list of people they're angry at. What I'm saying is the people who need to hear this and the people who need to understand this won't. They don't want to, and they won't listen to me. And that's absolutely fine. They can keep doing what they're doing, right? What I'm saying, though, is if you are someone who's willing to change and get better, because you do need to do better. If you're a stan, like you're part of a community that needs to do better. And if you want to be part of that, you need to start not looking at things at face value and start, as much as pick up a football is kind of a rude way of putting it, but start looking for other avenues for your activity. I think Jschlatt said it best. If imagine if all the people putting their rage down now put it into something that would make the world a better place. Can you imagine how many pieces of art there would be in the world? How many pieces of fiction writing? How many video games be made? How many websites be made? How many, just if you have the majority of you have skills, right? I feel like, pick up a football's a bit of a rude phrase, I think. But the meaning behind it is with good intentions. In the same way, don't negotiate with terrorists is a rude phrase, yet the meaning behind it is honest. And I feel like people need to start, looking at content creators as they are, which is people who are the same as you, have had lives and have had experiences and have opinions on things, and sometimes you won't agree with them because that's how things work. Sometimes they won't be aware of things that you're aware of, and that's fine, But what's important is that you make your own decision and you don't act like a mob.
And the thing is, I will say, because I keep mentioning, stans, we all keep saying that word, and it's kind of not necessarily putting them in a bad light, but I will say the quote-unquote stans, they're not, all bad like some content creators say. I have had people who, immediately, like when people will come at me and like cancel me over the smallest thing, there are some ones that are like fucking fighting them, like where it gets scary. They'll be like, how fucking dare you? So that's another, we shouldn't all fucking, put them all in the same book. I feel like, because I keep saying, yeah, stans are fucking crazy, or, the fucking K-pop pictures. But the thing is, for anyone watching this is not directed, because I know, some of you will think, oh, we're talking about you. There is a lot of you out there that is fucking amazing. And, you realize you're not a fucking dumb cunt. You kind of actually have a fucking brain. And so when we say, stans, when we say this shit, it is more, I guess...
It's the people who it's directed at. It's the same thing if I say men are trash. Of course not every man is trash, but, like, it's the men who it's attracted at.
All men are trash.
If you get offended by that, then think about your actions. Think about if it's actually at you, because if you're offended at that, then, So, yeah, that's... Yeah.
Another thing, but I'm gonna leave. But
Okay.
another thing, if you're mad at something a creator said, just sort of ask yourself why. And like if for instance, if you're saying like, so for instance, if maybe you heard me talking about the don't negotiate with terrorists bit, and you say like, oh no, but that made me really angry. Just think why. And then if your answer for that, then think again to whatever you answered the why with. Question yourself again, but why does that make me angry? And keep going until you find out what is the root of what makes you angry. And if it's the content creator themselves, then that's what you should distance yourself from. Don't, seek happiness. What was that quote? This brings unhappiness. Throw it away. You like cock?
No, I thought that was a quote. Was that... Fuck.
Well, if cock brings you happiness, then seek
Then
cock.
seek
Wait,
cock.
I got the... No, we were on a really... I don't want to ruin it. No, keep going.
Dude.
No, just...
Minx, if you've got something to say, I'm going now. I'll leave the ladies to it. But like,
No,
if
I thought that was a quote. Wait. No, it's fine. It's fine, dude. It's fine.
Yeah?
You
Okay.
just-
Well, also when I'm going, I just want to say again: if you're over 1,000 followers, you are next. If you're part of cancel culture, you are what they're gonna go for next. Goodbye.
Goodbye, Will.